to another edition of your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show.
Did she subscribe?
Right.
She's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? She repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on a highlight reel tape. And be glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions and millions of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or really?
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with 97 million. There you go.
All you hear is this.
Always somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say
Don't
straight.
have me tear up on here.
Come on now, don't have me tear up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Ms. Williams, saying welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? Hi, Ms. Williams.
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the platform sports talk show or its sponsors.
What is going on, party people? It is your boy Smooth. I am back. Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. It's good to have y'all here. Happy Wednesday for those, of course, they say happy hump day, which I know that my co-host as of right now from Ladies Night, she holds things down with the ladies, the host. I know that she's ready to get things popping because, I'm not alone. Bunny, what's going on with you?
Good evening. Happy hump day. You got it.
Yeah, got that hump day going.
Yeah, I may have a partner in crime here. But anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. Woo! And our faithful viewer. Say hi, Miss Williams. I'm sorry. Hi, Miss.
There we go. Showing y'all love over there. How y'all been doing over there on the ill side?
Holding it down. Had to travel to the Mo side for work today. And now back on the ill side. So here we are. Quiet, chilling, recuperating from homecoming and 2 weekends in a row of homecomings. Yeah.
Sound like you about 21 years old again.
Yeah, my body doesn't tell me that, though. I know better.
Hey, same here. I got proof.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I got proof. I got the receipts. I got everything. But once again, y'all, thanks for tuning in to the Platform Sports Talk Show. We've been going on strong, y'all, 6 years. Just doing it big. Because, we here consistently, y'all. Every Wednesday, it's like the best 2 to 3 hours of your life on the Wednesday night is the Platform Sports Talk Show. And if y'all first time watching, thank you very much. And y'all, of course, can just give us a follow on Facebook at the Platform Sports Talk Show, on formerly known as Twitter, that X at 314 Sports Talk. Go on to YouTube. Bunny, I don't know if you got it with you, but you can probably just do, your own little sound effect. But go on YouTube, subscribe, and click on
that bell, baby.
There you go. Because anytime we go live, you will be notified. If you know someone who will be an incredible guest on the Platform Sports Talk Show, give us an email, platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. We also on that Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. When the show is over, not only are we uploaded on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, but also on Roku. So if you have a Roku TV, just hit that add channel, put in the Platform Sports Talk Show, and there we go. Boom. You can see previous shows. And of course, when we do this show and future shows, you'll check us out. And if you can't hear or see us right now, excuse me, because you're probably driving or doing something, a little busy, you can also hear our beautiful voices on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always crystal clear HD voices. We sound really good, y'all. I heard it myself. This proof that we do sound amazing on Hot 365 Radio. You can go to the website, hot365radio.com, or if you have an Android device, or if you have iOS, you can just put in Hot 365 Radio when you go to the app, and boom, you are there. You'll be good. You'll be set for life. And of course, I got to represent for my fellas every last Wednesday of the month, the Man Cave. So shouts out to Stan, to Mario, to T-Bone, to Sadal, and to the blackest man on the show, Craig Black. And then, of course, every first Wednesday of the month, Ladies Night. Shouts out, of course, Bunny, Jobo, Michelle Lay, and Coach Willis, and also out there in Florida, Annie. Hope everything's going well with her. Y'all ain't seen her in a minute because she's busy teaching grad students in college. So got to do what you got to do. But when she's available, she'll be back. And that being said, we have a jam-packed show. Bunny, are you ready to enjoy another special guest that we have waiting right now?
Of course, I'm waiting. And I'm ready and I'm waiting to talk to our special guest. Because, it's pigskin season, so nothing but the best football out there on the high school, college, and pro levels. So let's make it happen.
And, some of our best shows is when we have people like this man here, local, doing big things for the community, high school related, and they always have great stories to tell, very inspiring messages to give out. And I know this interview here will not fall short at all. He is a returning guest. The last time he was on our show was on May the 19th, 2021. I got the receipts. You can go on YouTube and you can find that episode. Great show. We'll talk about that and more because this man here has 12 years of coaching experience from U City, from CBC, Rittner, and right now leading Class 4. Class 4, y'all, with a 6-1 incredible record at Lutheran North High School. Once again, he's returning to the show. Looking forward to seeing how he's been from the time we first talked to how his life has changed to this very day. Once again, ranked number 1, y'all, in Class 4. Without any further ado, bringing our special guest, head coach of Lutheran North Crusaders, Coach Kyle. Call him K-Dub. Wagner.
K-Dub, what's the word?
How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Man, doing well. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Oh yeah. It's a pleasure to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has, man. A whole lot has changed in our lives, since the last time you've been on the show. I got married and life is great. Shouts out to the wifey, love you, mama. Bunny, she had some additions in her family and coach, just what you've been doing at Lutheran North and being the talk of the town, man. How's life been?
Oh man, it's been great. I actually got an addition myself. I had a son back in December. Yeah, December 14th. So Trey, he's I can't wait till he's out here with us at football practice. But yeah, I've been great, man. The attention has been awesome for our boys. They didn't get a lot of attention before the season, and it was something that I told them, before the season that they were the Class 4 state champions. And I told them eventually everybody would tell them that, but to remember the ones that were bought in from the beginning.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I brought up earlier that you was on our show a while back, and for people who don't think that you was on the show back then, I got proof, and I want you to see what you said after I asked you this question about you coming into Lutheran North. Because when we first had the interview, it was maybe a couple of days after you were appointed the head coach at that time. And I asked you about the transition and how things will be as you starting up at a new school. And check out what you said.
I think it was phenomenal, man. After I finished, a few of the kids reached out to me, and they just told me they were ready to run through a wall. When I first came in, I think, like anything else, man, there was some uncertainty with Coach leaving and going to DeSmet. A good friend of mine, Coach Carl Reed, and the kids, man, some of them know me already. Like, I've been in that building, I've been a part of some huge wins and some great seasons. And so some of them were happy to see me back, but we also had some kids that, I haven't gotten to build relationships with. So they were kind of uncertain. And I think that, what happened yesterday kind of calmed some nerves of them and parents, and let them know that we're going to be headed in the right direction. So yeah, man, it was incredible. And it felt good to be back home.
Coach, I guess there isn't any more uncertainty, and y'all definitely heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. We've been doing the work. It's taking us a little bit longer than expected. We had some pretty good teams the last couple of years, and we had unfortunate injuries and stuff like that kind of stopped our run. So finally we're putting everything together, and man, we got crazy belief right now. Our guys, I mean, they don't believe that they can lose when we're in the heat of the battle, and I love that. So
yeah, man, and I do have to say this because you just brought it up. I don't know if it was the excitement, the pressure of being on this show that may have caused the loss that happened this past weekend.
No, it's this past weekend was just one of them things, man. Our kids played their hearts out. Coaches did well. We went into the game. I had my star quarterback, Dakari Hollis, who has 24 touchdowns and no turnovers right now. I set him out of that game because he was only about 85%. And I got to, keep in mind what we, are aiming for. And it's not to have people talking about us and, us being the top team in St. Louis and all of that stuff. It's really for us to win the state championship in December. So I made a decision not to play Dakari in that game. And then we played our backup quarterback, who's actually pretty good, but he's a freshman. And he ended up getting injured in the second quarter. So we were down to no quarterback. And so we kind of on the fly had to make decisions. And, we put one of our best receivers, Mike Clark, at quarterback, and he's never done it before. And really, they knew that we were just running the ball. He ended up having 16 carries for 158 yards in the second half. But we had 14 penalties called against us to 3. And so that was tough to overcome without having a quarterback. And so, man, they battled. We lost to a really good team by 5 with no quarterback. A team that would beat, a lot of teams here in St. Louis by quite a bit. So, I was proud of the way that they battled, but our kids know that it's a bigger picture. And, when you see us in the playoffs and our season is on the line and Dakari Hollis is playing and some of the things that we figured out this past weekend, put some things in place just for a little backup, it's going to be tough to knock us out. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Bunny, did you have a question?
So Coach, from that previous interview that he showed you to now, what is the biggest change you've seen from your players from then to now?
Biggest change, I mean, they're like me at this point. Anytime you the head coach and so now I'm to the point where I have 3 of my classes that are in the building. And those guys, they think like me, they talk like me, they make fun of the sayings that I say. And so it's my team, now it's my team. They have my attitude. They have my approach to the way that we do business. And, that makes the coaches, that makes us confident when we go into battle, knowing that those guys, man, they listen to us. They're doing the things that we want them to do. The majority of them are doing really well in school, which is a big thing for me, like the academic piece, so yeah, they're my team finally. And so I'm able to be me a little bit more, so people interviewing me and they ask me what I think. And I'm like, we're going to win the state championship. And I know, some people want you to be humble and all of that, but we put the work in. And until I see the clock hit 0 and our season is over, I believe these guys are the state champions and nobody in Class 4 can beat us when we really come into play with our season on the line. And, if I have to eat crow, I eat crow on it. But right now, we all believe that.
There we go. Hey, I love it. And it's good to have, your kids and their parents see the attitude that you have. And, it's not like you said about, boasting immaturely or being, a certain way about it. But you just have that belief, and kids need to see that belief and confidence. It can instill them to have that same type of mindset. So I love it. So with that being said, just talk about personally how hard, if it was hard for you, because you didn't have your own kids when you first started. You inherited, of course, from the legendary Carl Reed, who you were under his coaching staff when they won state championship a few years back. But just tell us about that feeling of you not having your own kids and you having to not say prove anything, but just earn their trust and get to that point where you're at now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's really earning the trust of the kids. But me and Reed, man, we got different coaching styles. As head coaches, Reed is more of a he's like an executive. The right way he runs everything is a business. And for me, it's a little bit different. I'm more, relationship based within what we're doing with the coaches, the kids, the parents, and trying to tie everything together with the school and all of that. And for Reed, it's big business, man. Reed trying to go and win, and it's all about winning, And for me, that's an important piece of it. But some of it I just had to put my spin on it. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough, and it's always going to be tough taking over behind a legend. Somebody who's great at what they do. And then trying to tell people that it's a different way to do it. Everybody's like, no, we did it like this. And so, yeah, that's an incredible challenge for sure. But my staff, man, they stayed the course, and I think we're gonna reap the benefits here soon.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. And I'm really big in regards to knowing about who influenced you when you start getting the coaching. Who are some coaches or some people who you've seen during your younger years that influenced you to get to coaching now, and who are some coaches that you kind of follow a little bit? Maybe it was seeing this guy here, how he did things, and then you coming to your own.
Yeah. I mean, Carl Reed, I got to include him in there. I was with him for about 8 to 10 years of my career. So we spent a lot of time together. Man, we've been through pretty much everything that you can go through on a coaching staff together, and, had it out and made the adjustments and fell short and then did it, so definitely Carl Reed, and seeing the way that he ran things, man, and understanding that you had to address issues head on. He was instrumental in teaching me how to deal with adults and people and holding them accountable. When you're younger, you really don't want to step on people's toes and stuff like that. And so he always taught me, like, man, at the end of the day, your name is going to be, in the paper. And so you got to make sure people do their jobs. And so that's a big part of what I do. And, I address everything now head on, and he was a key part of that. He also taught me about, how important it is that your players, you're like, you got to have dudes, kids win games, man, and coaches lose them. And so you got to have guys that can go out there in a big game and make plays. So definitely Carl Reed. I'll say Scott Pingle during my time at CBC. What Scott did for me was he got me right with my mindset. When I was younger, I was that coach that was, I'm jumping down guys' throat when they make mistakes. I'm yelling. I'm on 10. I got a headache after the game. And what Scott taught me was, one, learning to keep your composure, but two, like, planning ahead of time. Like, he's an incredible just planner, man. He plans out everything from the way guys are going to stretch to, the where we're coming out at. You're going to be on the 20-yard line. These guys are on the 30, like he did. He's such a strategist that it taught me that. And then during my time at CBC, I also learned, the relationship part of coaching and why that's important. And it's a key piece to really maxing out your football teams. So I would say those two have been the biggest influence on me as a coach. And then my grandfather, who's the one, he kind of got me into everything that I'm doing. Before he passed away, he got to see me, have some success. So he was definitely a key piece to why I jumped into coaching at first.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And we know that you are returning guests, but this was a question that we didn't ask you at that time when you was on our show for the first time. But we'd love to ask our guests just to get that follow-up in regards to just your growth as a young person at the time. But can you just tell us, when was that time in life that you just fell in love with sports?
So it's crazy. I had a cousin, man, who's probably the greatest football player I ever seen play. And some people, if anybody involved in youth sports down in Kirkwood, they know about him. His name is Jason Clark. Jason Clark was around the same age as Jeremy Macklin, who everybody knows about. And Jason, and I tell this to J Mac all the time, Jason was a better football player than him. Yeah, I'm dead serious, which is crazy because he was, right. You know what he went on to do. But Jason Clark was that. My cousin was that guy, and so I would actually go to practice before I was ever playing and be watching him in practice, and then I would be playing catch with the kids. And then my grandfather was like, hold up, man, you can catch the football. You need to play football. And so I ended up getting into it when I was 8 years old. And from then on, man, I love the game, man. I study guys, man, Jerry Rice, Barry Sanders. I like to, when we were playing in the neighborhood, I stayed in U City, man. I used to act like I was Mike Allstott, just try to run guys over. So I love the game from the time that, I got out there, man. I was watching my cousin do it. And then as I went to high school at Kirkwood, and it just grew. We had a really great team there. I played with some great players. We had 3 NFL guys on our football team, and just that brotherhood, man, and some of the relationships that I built through the game. I'd be doing this until I can't do it no more.
So I know a question. Yeah, JC, or listen to me. What's your cousin name? Jason Clark.
Jason Clark.
He went to Kirkwood as well.
He ended up not even, like, he didn't even go through school. So his story is they actually did a piece in STL today. They did a newspaper on Jeremy Macklin side by side with Jason Clark, because they have very similar stories. They both had mothers that were, at the time, drug addicts. Okay. The difference was Macklin had a Kirkwood family take him in, and my cousin didn't. And so my cousin went down the other path, got involved in stuff, ended up getting caught in a robbery, and ended up, doing some time in prison. He's out now, and he's got his head on straight and trying to coach youth and do those things. But their stories were so similar, eerily, similar, that they actually did something in a Post-Dispatch about them. You can still look the story up to this day on how good Macklin was and how good, Jason Clark was, and how that one difference in having, that family support and that structure, helped Macklin, and, kind of hurt, my cousin from ever making it. So, to this day, that's a part of my coaching story, man, and just making sure that, those kids that don't have that type of support system, that my coaching staff is that for them. Because, my cousin, man, he was good enough to really play at that level. Like I said, he's the best player I've ever seen. I've coached some really good players and guys that are in the NFL right now. But he just, unfortunately, he was born in the situation he was born in, and the way he handled it, he ended up where he is. But incredible story for real.
So do you bring him around your player so he can tell his story from his point of view?
He's just getting back into into being a civilian in that life, and working and getting his stuff together. I would love to do that one day. I think it would be huge for our kids to hear it. I've shared the story with them. I've shared the piece that they did in the Post-Dispatch with them. Whenever those times fit with certain guys and stuff like that. But I think that would be really cool to actually have him come in and speak. That's something that, I probably need to make happen. And now I know if he's watching it, he's going to hit me up and say we need to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's very important, for kids to see trials and not just tribulations. It's not just about, okay, hey, this spoiled mentality that the people I know you've been hearing or seeing it or whatever with these kids who may have came from a certain background where they've been praised like the high almighty, and they already realize that there can be struggle along the way. So that would definitely be awesome, to have him to talk to the kids and let them know that, hey, I've been that guy, I've been called that dude, and look what life can happen, just like that.
Absolutely.
So I hope that he's watching. Shouts out to you if you are, Jason Clark. And for anyone else who has a similar story like that, this would be a perfect opportunity to, chime in. For those watching the show, chime in, leave the comments. Let's spread these comments out throughout the whole show. Let's get the interactions going. And for the kids who's watching, if you have your kids watching, that they're seeing this right now and can really be humbled and inspired by, what they're seeing and hearing today on this show. So that's super dope. Outside of football, were there any sports that you played as well as a youth?
Man, I love football so much, man. I wish I did. I actually have a great grandfather that played in the Negro leagues for a few years and then did 12 years in the major leagues, was a two-time All-Star. And I always had a natural ability. I never, knew at the time, but I had a natural ability to, play baseball just within the neighborhood. But yeah, I didn't know that story. If I could do it over, I would play baseball for sure.
Yeah, man, I was a multi-sport athlete myself, man. I played basketball and I played football 1 year at Matthews Dickey. Shouts out to the Bulldogs. I was like 8, 9 years old. I played basketball, played baseball. Then in high school, I played tennis and soccer as well as basketball. Yeah, so I was trying to do, as much as I could. And then to get a scholarship from playing soccer at Harris Stowe.
Okay.
That was pretty amazed by that. But and Miss Dub has a question. Coach, if any of your players struggle scholastically, are there tutors or other resources to help them?
Absolutely. I actually have a sister-in-law who's, she's a English major, so she's helped some of our boys out who have struggled in, language arts, English, stuff like that. But within Lutheran North, we have, teachers that stay. I mean, there's teachers still here right now while I'm doing this. It's really, man, Lutheran North is incredible when it comes to the academic support piece. And, our kids that struggle, they have every opportunity to be successful. It's really on them to initiate and decide that that's what they want to do, or their parents. So yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Miss Dub, her son, who's one of my best friends, he went to Lutheran North. He graduated in 2000. So shouts out to my boy Ed. So yeah, anytime she hears Lutheran North or sees on the show, she definitely pumped up like, let's go.
I love it.
Look, that's her alma mater by default because of her son. Have you ever met your best friend, Ed? My mind's going blank.
I can't recall if you have met him or not, Bunny. I can't recall if you have or not. But yeah. So Miss Dub says that's great. So let's talk about, well, first, you brought up Jeremy Macklin and Jason Clark and how you feel Jason was better than Jeremy. We plan on having Jeremy Macklin on the show very soon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play this clip when he on the show, and we're gonna see what he says. I'll make sure you check it out.
Listen, he's gonna say that he's gonna say that he's better, but anybody that was down there, they know what it is, man. They know what it is.
Said the real know what's up. So speaking of scheduling, you came into this season and you done your best to put a heavy schedule of opponents for your team to get them ready for the gauntlet of the season.
Oh yeah.
What was your mindset in regards to you wanting to have certain teams scheduled for the upcoming season?
So I'm very strategic in the way that we schedule. I try and give us tests to really, like, it's crazy to think about, but like, I want to lose. Like, I want you to show us how we can lose so I can fix it before we get to a point where our season is on the line. And so when I schedule, I try to put us in, situations where it's gonna be tough for us to come out with a win unless we execute everything, flawlessly. From the way my coaches are coaching to the message that we send the kids that week and what it has to be, because a lot of times it's just having a pulse on your team. That's a big piece of that pregame, understanding what that speech got to be like. I'm very strategic in the way that I schedule, and the way that we have to deal with referees. As a predominantly Black team in Missouri, any coach that coaches a predominantly Black team know what I'm talking about. When you go and you play in rural Missouri, it's going, like, I already tell my guy, we got 14, 15 penalties that's coming today, and I don't care. We're gonna overcome it. We gotta make plays to overcome those plays, and leave no doubt when we competing, you know, because I've had my season ended on you know, stuff that was the kids didn't deserve to have their season ended, and I learned from those situations. And you know, it's just a fact of the way that the game works here. So when I'm putting together my schedule, I'm thinking about all of those things. I want somebody that's going to push us. It's not fun for me to get ready for a week feeling like we're going to win the game regardless of what we do. I don't enjoy that. I've been in too many big games at this point for those games to excite me. I don't care about going undefeated or any of that, because for me, all that matters is winning a state title, you know. And if I'm not getting ready to do that, then what we doing this for? You know, if I wanted to coach for charity, I wouldn't be at Lutheran North. You know, I'm at Lutheran North for the pressure of winning championships. And so when I'm putting my schedule together, I'm just trying to put us in the best position to win championships, and allow my team and my coaches to learn throughout the season.
An all-black team in rural Missouri, and you all get penalties and on top of penalties? No, I would never think that in 2023. I just cannot fathom that.
Who does that?
Right. Being racist towards a team just because of skin color is so 1950. So like,
listen, hey, I'm probably, if somebody see this, I'm probably gonna have to hear from it, but it's the truth, you know. And I've always said that, and you know, but I don't care. We never gonna blame refs. We had 14 penalties in our game this past week. We had more than enough plays that my guys could have made to win the football game, even without a quarter, you know, without two quarterbacks. So for me, I'm never gonna put it on the refs. At the end of the day, it's on us to make it not their, you know, not their call or not their decision or whatever, man. So we're gonna do battle, but you know, I do understand the way that Missouri works. I play here, and you know, I've coached here long enough to understand it. And the other pieces is being a private school. So not only do we have that, but we also a private school. So it's certain, you know, people that feel ways towards that. So we got to overcome those things, and you know, we got to be ready to go regardless of where the game is and what goes on. We got to take care of our business and make somebody beat us.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because speaking of overcoming, when we had Carl Reed on the show while he was still coaching for Lutheran North at that time, one of the biggest issues in regards to scheduling was trying to get certain opponents because of they knew how great of a school that Lutheran North was at that time. And even to this day, I'm still hearing rumblings of it's hard to schedule opponents because no one wants to face y'all. Is that true?
Well, I mean, it depends. For me, I'm willing to go up as much as you know, we can. I'm willing to play in Class 6. You know, we played Francis Howell this year, who was defending Class 5 champions, but they're Class 6. They have 1,900 plus students. We have 279 students. I'm willing to go and play that game. You know, Hazelwood Central was another team. That school has, you know, 1,900 students plus, and I'm willing to go play those games. I'm willing to go to Blair Oaks knowing that we're going to have refs from Wardsville, where it is, or Jeff City, and that at the end of the day, you know, whether they're doing their best or not, they, you know, just implicitly, it's going to be certain calls that we're going to have to battle through. I'm willing to schedule all of those games. So for me, it hasn't been as tough because I'm willing to step out, you know, and take those big games. But playing the teams in our conference, you know, everybody in our conference should be playing each other, and we haven't been doing that. So I've had to schedule more games because of that. So what I've done the last 2 years is basically I've done a jamboree to show that we can play nice, right? And that way parents feel that it's safe for their kids to play against us, which is already a shame that that's something that they're thinking when a team like MICDS will beat their head. But then when they lose our kids, it's like a danger or a hazard. You know, you just saw that this past week. Now Cardinal Ritter, instead of playing tomorrow night, they're playing against Hillsborough at 1 p.m. on a Saturday. I think that's sick. You know, I think that's sick. I wish that, you know, Cardinal Ritter would have made them still come down to the city on a Friday night, because it's just as dangerous for our kids to go into their towns on Friday nights. you know, like so. Yeah, it's something like it's Missouri football, man. That's a piece of it, and people can try to act like it's not, but it absolutely is. And the fact that somebody in St. Louis got to change their game to 1 p.m. on a Saturday, you know, is crazy. And there hasn't been any issues at Cardinal Ritter. So, you know, Hillsboro, I'm gonna be honest. I hope Cardinal Ritter break the scoreboard on them, and when we see them later on, we gonna take care of business too.
Yeah,
It's crazy like that. Yeah, that is crazy.
And you made such a great point in regards to, you know, you were about the danger of coming to the city, but it's the same exact danger that we can have going to Chillicothe and going to, you know, DuPont, Illinois, you know, whatever it is. It's the same danger, you know. It's crazy, but I want to go ahead and bring him up because he just left a comment in the chat. It's my dude, Damian Mitchell. I think you may know him, Coach.
Oh yeah, that's my guy. That's my brother.
I think you may know him. And how great was this feeling when you saw this?
Yes. I love it. Thank you all. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Congratulations, David.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The love is crazy around here, man. I swear.
I was just picture up. Let me see the poster.
You see his poster?
Dude.
There it is. Go Bulldogs.
Man.
Man, how great was that to see?
I mean, I'm near tears. You know, man, we put in so many hours doing this coaching thing, you know, leaving our families, you know, and Damien's one of the ones that's been with me since I was at Ridner. You know, even when I was leaving Ridner, he wasn't staying there. You know, he was leaving, and I ended up having him come over here. And you know, man, seeing that moment for me was super dope because I knew that, you know, he'll still be with us. And this whole time he didn't been positive. And as a no, just not just a coach, but as a man, you know, man, you hear that word cancer, and you know it'll send chills down your spine. And man, he didn't attack that thing, man, with just a smile and his energy. Dude show up every single day, you know, you know that he battling, you know that he battling, but he still come and give us everything. And you know, I'm forever grateful for it. Our kids are forever grateful for it. And what a great, you know, example of just continuing to fight regardless of what's going on. And so when I selected the men to be on my staff, you know, Damien, the type of man that, you know, I wanted on my staff. And, you know, we didn't know that we were going to be battling stuff like that, you know, but at the end of the day, with the attitude that he got, man, he a different breed, he a different dude. And, you know, he's overcoming, you know, what he's faced. And, you know, he's going to tell his story, and it's going to be a motivation to our young athletes. So, but yeah, man, it was special seeing that. And I got to, you know, go up there and see him, you know, multiple times and be there for his birthday and all of that. So that's something that I'll remember forever.
Yeah, man, it's just awesome, you know, as a brother, man, to see you, you know, pouring out your love and heart for him as well, man. That's super awesome. I love to see it. I hope those watching right now that y'all seeing what real love looks like, man, and support. And once again, kids are seeing it in front of them of trials and going through struggle and seeing how you can come out of things as long as you first, of course, keep God first in your life and allow him just to take control. You know what I'm saying? Less of you, more of him. And like I said, just to see you be in touch, man, that's amazing to see. And I know Damien appreciates it. We go back since high school years. I think he was like 2 years above me when I was at the V. And there you go. You know, love you, bro. So that's what it's all about, man. You know, this is what this show is all about, man. We want to get them stories out there, pour it out and everything. Going back to scheduling, Billy Spicer says, would love to see Lutheran North versus Cardinal Ritter next year.
Oh, baby, that's gonna be a high ticket item, baby.
Yeah, we'll see. we'll see it next year. Me and Spain, we've put it together. So once we put out the schedule, we'll see. But you definitely gonna see that. You're gonna get your wish.
Hey,
that's a ticket worth scalping. Did I say it out loud?
Yeah,
I mean, we cool now, so we can get that.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Coach K-Dub.
Yeah, we gonna get y'all in the building. That one's gonna be crazy.
Right, y'all may need a bigger stadium because y'all gonna have alumni come out for that too. Because Luke and Carter Ritter rivalry go way back.
Oh, yeah. And what Spain them doing is incredible. They're on an incredible run right now. They got a lot of talent. So hopefully when we play that game, it'll be 2 defending state champions in that game. I'm hoping that they take care of their business and that we take care of ours. Billy say gonna run the chains. We gonna need them.
And is it official that you'll also be playing East St. Louis Flyers?
So we still working out the details on that. I was supposed to have a meeting. I was supposed to have a meeting today to talk about it, but it ended up getting pushed back. So I'm waiting. But as long as it makes sense, then we're gonna make it happen. Originally it was supposed to be at Lutheran North based on what we agreed on, and then they decided that it should be at Lindenwood. So as long as the money makes sense, still for us.
I get that, but wait, they try to make it a neutral site, but Lindenwood, that's not distant wise for either one of y'all. But
yeah, I think it's more so space, but
it's gonna draw a crowd too, like the Ritter Crusaders.
Yeah, but I told them, like, if you was here during the Trinity Catholic game that happened here, when Trinity had all the D1 guys, Isaiah Williams and all those guys, and we had all our guys, it was a beautiful event at Lutheran North. That's one of the greatest games to be played, period, in our city. And we didn't have any issues, and it was all of us all together, and it was respect on the field, and there was enough parking and enough everything, and anybody that was there that night know that it's not many nights that top that night. So Lutheran North, we do have what it takes to host a game like that. But I'm willing to do it at Lindenwood as well, as long as it makes sense. Because money is a part of this football.
I was about to say, making dollars and make it make sense.
Yeah.
Part in there too. And strategically, I know even on the collegiate level, like the HBCUs, we're known for having classics in the first month and half of the season.
Yeah.
But a lot of times classes are away from your home field. And while that's good for the fans and people away from the home, people don't realize you take away that home game for a school, that is money that they're losing out on. You be like, they make it up from the classic. No, because in the classic you travel, that costs more. You don't care what you get in the back end, it don't work out for the home school, the team, the band, all of that. So like I said, when you said neutral, so I'm like, yeah, but the distance, I'm like,
And at Lutheran North, we ain't got everything, like I told them, I said, we ain't got all the buses, we ain't eating steak when we go out, what I'm saying? We need ours. So it's got to make sense, but I would love to make that happen. I think that Coach Sunkett is a legend. I think that they got great coaches over there, Skeet, my guy, and they got great players. I mean, they got great players, and the majority of people here are scared to play against them, but if we pull up any receipts, I ain't been scared of nobody ever.
I say we don't back down, baby. You ready for it, big and small. Shoot.
Yeah, and I ain't scared of no battle. So
sound like Coach Prime over there. Ain't hard to find.
Okay. Right. I'm not 5401.
Let them know.
Yeah, 5401.
So Ms. Dub asks, why not UMSL? Do they not have the necessary facilities?
I don't know if UMSL has a football field. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, now that I think about it. Yeah.
I wish they did. They probably have a good football team if they had a football field.
Right. Demond Buckley says, talk that talk, coach. And we were talking about in regards to, schools going, who's scared to come to the city, but we going to schools out there in country fed farmland.
Ready.
Hey,
right.
No lights in the roads, man. Don't do
man. That's Missouri. That's Missouri. So we're gonna deal with it. I just know if I was CR, they would have had to come down there at 7 o'clock, and we would have had mask on and everything for that one.
So, Coach, I know one of your mottos, carry the cross. So just so you know, I brought my cross with me, Coach. I brought my cross with me. I'm not playing games. So you're a man of many sayings I've seen on social media, man. So tell us about what does carry the cross mean?
Yeah, so I decided to switch the helmets up a little bit. And I wanted something that really represented our school, but was also cool for the kids. And anybody that attended Lutheran North knows that somebody that goes to Lutheran North or works at Lutheran North goes to church more than anybody in the world. We have service every single day at Lutheran North. We stop throughout our day and we all come together as a school and we worship. And so I was trying to think of a saying that would go with the helmet, and I was just like, man, everybody got the cross on their helmet, carry the cross, and what that means, is through adversity, through the outside voices, what everybody got to say and all of that. At the end of the day, we carry that cross. We know what we stand for. We know that he with us, so when we in a game against, Francis Howell, and we down 11 points with 3 minutes left, and my guys and they body language go down and my coaches go down, I just told them, like, man, y'all got a cross on y'all helmet, man. I said, God with us, he ain't with them. Like, he with us, and in that moment, it's like, all right, there's no way we win in this game, and we go and win it. And that's when everything kind of swung, where they like, okay, this serious. Even this past weekend, that was a point where we were like, I'm like, man, somehow we're about to win this game. And it's crazy because we had everything against us, and they end up pulling it out. And the message again, man, is that we carry the cross even through adversity. And that, carrying the cross don't mean it ain't gonna hit the ground. We don't have to pick it up and keep going. It just means that the way that we carry ourselves is gonna be a certain way, and adversity is not gonna break who that person is or break our character. So yeah, man, it's the perfect saying for what I stand for and what our team and our program stands for. And we're gonna carry the cross into battle all the time. And we're gonna, you're gonna have to beat us, man. We're not gonna back down.
That's awesome, man. And also, don't eat the cheese.
Oh yeah. So that's a saying that I got from Carl Reed, man. As a young coach, you got to think I was coaching with Reed from the time I was about 23 years old. I would get on the message boards and hear what people were saying in the barber shop, and I would post the rankings. Man, look, they moved us up to 8, and think that all that stuff really mattered. And he would always tell me, like, hey, don't eat the cheese. And I'm like, don't eat the cheese. He like, yeah, a mouse, man, they smell it, it smell good. You start going towards it, and as soon as you go eat it, man, you get snapped. You get put in that trap, and it's over for you. And so it's just a saying that I've continued, is like, to our kids, like, don't eat it. Everybody telling you how great they are, in a minute, everybody will switch on you. And that trap will snap and everything will be done. It'll be over. So continue to do the work is what that means. Don't eat the cheese and start feeling yourself, because it'll come back to bite you in the end. And that's a perfect reminder that our kids, they all know that saying. They know what I mean when I say it. So you don't see our kids posting the rankings and all of that stuff, because they know that we're gonna take that with a grain of salt. We want to win our last game. If we can be the only Class 4 team to win that last game of the season, at that point, now we can talk about who we were and who we are, and it can stand and nobody can ever take it from you, But at the end of the day, being ranked number 1 in week 7 don't mean much. Finish the season ranked number 1. And then it means something, and you become legendary in these halls. And now, instead of me talking about the 2019 team and how they did it and how they carried themselves, I'm talking about the 2023-24 team and using them as examples. And so they're fighting for that. They want to be legendary, and they carry themselves that way. And that's why I believe in them.
Then another one, Demond Buckley brings up, do your homework.
Yeah. So do your homework that was for Post Dispatch. At the beginning of the season, they didn't have us ranked. Nobody came out. If you watched us over the summer, you knew that we were a really good football team. All of the top teams in Missouri, we went and we sought them out. I found out what camps guys were at, and we went. We went and we battled with Liberty North. We've seen the Kearney team that guys are saying are good, good in Class 4. We've seen the Odessas, the Jacksons. We went and scrimmaged the Smet. We've seen what it was. So everybody's surprised about how good the Smet is. I went over there. I could have told you that they were going to be CBC and that they were going to be a problem to deal with in Class 6. Got one of the best defensive lines we've seen in the last 2 years. So we battled all summer and put the work in, and, guys didn't do their homework on us. And then all of a sudden, people want to interview and think that things are miraculous when we already been doing this work to earn what we're getting.
And Ms. Dub, in regards to the ranking that you brought up in regards to the Post Dispatch, she was saying like what happened to Mizzou's ranking as a losing just one game. Because I'm gonna show you the AP poll later on, Coach.
Yep.
And Mizzou, as she just said, is not on there. So we'll talk about that and later on throughout the show. But yeah, it's crazy, man. But it goes back keeping them receipts, like what Dion said. I'm keeping them receipts.
I got it all. Hey, I'll tell you what, after we win the state championship, you're gonna want to tune in to my interview.
Hey, I'm at to be at the interview. Now you say it. So you brought it up earlier in regards to scheduling. Start out the season, Blair Oaks, state champs. And then next week, Francis Howell, state champs. And you start the season 2-0. How big was it? How big? Oh, I'm sorry. Week 2 and 3. So y'all were 3-0. Y'all played Hazelwood Central, correct?
Yep.
Here we go. Okay. So yeah, starting out 3-0, but to face Blair Oaks and then Francis Howell, once again, you going up the ranks pretty much to get that talent, the opposing talent. How did that feel for you and for your team to get those victories against Blair Oaks and Francis Howell?
The Blair Oaks game was one that honestly was one that we needed for the program because they've been a thorn in our side. Coach Ted LePage is a Hall of Fame coach. He's won multiple state championships. His teams are always tough. And we were going up there 2 years in a row. So this was the second year that we actually went up there to them. And next year they actually come to us week 2. So yeah, winning that game for us was huge just for our kids' confidence because they've watched all of our older teams as when they were younger kids. And so they seen, some of our top players lose to Blair Oaks. And so once they beat them, it was like, hold up, we pretty good, and so that one was big. And then Francis Howell game was crazy because we played about as bad of a game as we could play with the guys that we had. And we end up winning it late, and it was on that last play. So
I saw it.
Just the belief that it gave us. But for me, like I was upset. I was upset because I didn't think that we should have been in the game like that. And some people take it as like, man, that's a really good team. You shouldn't feel that way. But man, we played about as bad of a half as we could play first half, and we had to score 37 points in the second half to win the game on the last play. So I was happy to see the resiliency and everything. But my players, they'll tell you, like, I felt like we were gonna win that game by more, and we did enough bad things to allow it to have to be this incredible victory. I wanted that to be a statement game. I didn't want it to be this incredible victory. I'm trying to live a little bit longer. I don't want to be a part of games like that where we win on the last play. It takes years off my life. So yeah, I wasn't super, I wasn't really that happy. And our kids knew that we had more work to do. But they did start to get some attention. And, for me, I felt like they started to eat the cheese a little bit, after we won those games. And so after that, we had a few games that were, games that we knew we were going to win. And then we played MICDS for the conference championship. And in that game, we left some stuff on the table. we should have won that game by more than what we did. I, didn't think we executed well. And I could see us starting to listen to everybody else, And so I was, we went up to Maryville and Maryville ended up winning the game. That wasn't the worst thing. Like, we kind of needed it. We needed it to straighten out some stuff and address some people so that we can get back on track and understand that, like, man, look, this is what got us to this point. It ain't all that the other stuff and listening to people on the outside. We got to keep on doing this work and respect everybody and prepare for everybody the same. And so, I felt like the Maryville loss was more important than the Francis Howell win.
That's what's up. So, what helped flip the switch for the season, do you believe, for your team? Start off, like I said, 3-0, and now being 6-1. What do you feel helped flip that switch to be like, okay, you know what, we arrived?
The way that we handled Hazelwood Central. Our guys took that game really serious. We felt like that was a game that was going to be a tough game for us because of how good they were up front. And our guys went out, man, they played just like their hair was on fire. I still don't think we've played as good as we played in that game, So for me, I'm trying to get to a point that we play that way all the time. We really haven't put together a full game since that moment, but that night was special, man. Everybody was just locked in, from the start to the end, staying on the gas. So that was huge. And then honestly, beating Blair Oaks at Blair Oaks and doing something that none of the other past teams at Lutheran North did, and really none of the teams from St. Louis, because they went down to Cardinal Ritter and beat them when they had Luther as well. So getting that win was something, that our kids, it pushed them, and that made them believe that what I was telling them was true when I told them they were state champions. So definitely those two moments, I say, were the kickers. And then this past week was a big one for us.
And we talked about Damian Mitchell earlier as he's part of your coaching staff. But let's talk about your coaching staff as a whole, because, coach can only do so much without having those certain parts. Talk about your staff and how amazing they have been, and what each member has done for your team to make the whole team be as incredible as they are this season.
So I'm not the easiest person to work with, because I demand, excellence. My guys have to be here. You can't work at Lutheran North if you're not somebody that's going to show up. That's one thing. Number two, you can't work at Lutheran North if you're not somebody that's going to go above and beyond for our kids outside of football. So guys needing rides, guys going through stuff, needing, you to go and take them to, buy something, whatever it is. Us taking guys on college trips. So all of the guys that I put together, man, they're completely bought into that vision. My defensive coordinator, Brett Jewell, he's incredible at what he does. He's just extremely strategic. Breaks things down, way beyond what I did as a defensive coordinator. Guy that was on that DeSmet staff that won the state championship and went back to back. But just he's been incredible for us. His energy on the defensive side of the ball, and then all the little things that he does outside of football. He's a dude that'll go pick up kids, man, at 6 a.m. and make sure they get to school. There's nothing that I ask him that he's not willing to do for our program. And then, we move on to a guy like Lafayette Gaywood. Lafayette Gaywood has been the head coach, and been coaching for over 30 years. Lafayette Gaywood was the head coach at University City for a long time. And so he gives us wisdom. He's a guy that, in those tough moments, man, and I'm looking for clarity, he's the one that I can go to and know that, he's going to give me what I need to hear. And that he's done it and seen it all, up until this point. Then you got a guy like Jared Kendall. Jared Kendall is our character coordinator. A lot of people don't have that position, on their staff, but that's a job that I feel, just like an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator or special teams. We have a character coordinator. And so his job is literally just to have a pulse on the team and to get them leadership skills and to push them to be leaders and, giving them different opportunities to learn how to lead and stuff like that. So he's been instrumental, part of our success, as well as him being alumni that's won 3 state championships at Lutheran North. So he always gives me that type of insight and those connections too. Damian Mitchell, he's a defensive coordinator. He's got the mind of a defensive coordinator. And, I'm blessed to have him coaching our defensive backs and, having him and Jewel work hand in hand with the defense. I know our guys are always going to be in position and they're going to play good football. And then we had a new addition this year that I think has been huge for us and huge for Dakari Hollis at quarterback with Coach Justin Danzy. Justin Danzy came to us from SLU. He was the SLU quarterbacks coach last year. And as you can see, their quarterback is doing pretty well. But he's been huge for Dakari Hollis and really our special teams. He's also our special teams coordinator. Then I got a guy like Tyron Collins. Tyron Collins is a guy he's one of my friends' older brother. And so he saw me play when I was, young. He was at every game, and he's one of those dudes that since I was young, he told me I had a mind. He said, man, you need to be in the NFL with the way that you think about this game. Nobody got what you got. And so just having somebody that believe in you on that level and being around, is huge. And he also helps with the offensive line. Then we got Micah Pomeranke, a guy that teaches in our building. He drives the bus. He does, all of the dirty work, washing the uniforms, like the stuff that people don't see, Right. And I mean, he put in work, and he's a great O-line coach, a guy that I can count on to make sure that our guys are ready. That group was a group that we were worried about before the season, and nobody's done a better job than he has at making what we thought would be a weakness into a strength. So definitely, and he's another guy that's been a head coach. Jared Kendall's been a head coach. So our staff is crazy. We got guys like Derek Hibbler, who, Hib is the guy that when you need a connection, he gonna find it. We need a bus, he'll pull up with a bus, yeah, man. We got guys that fill every single role. And guys that are instrumental to what we do. Chris Weaver with the wide receivers, guy that played at Hazelwood East, won state championships as a player, then won state championship as a coach over at Trinity Catholic during their incredible run. So I got a bunch of champions on my staff, man, and they know what it takes to win, and they willing to do the work. And at the end of the day, I can't do anything, on my own, and those guys are the guys that I lean on to handle their business. And they all have a hand in our game plan and the way that we game plan. It's never just my voice, it's everybody's voice. And I encourage that. I want guys to challenge me. And more than anything, I want to see those guys reach what their goals are. If I do this thing the right way and we handle business, when we look up 5-10 years from now, all of those guys will be living out their dreams. And that's the way I approach it as a head coach.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what about your expectations? Because we know every year, kids leave because they're, seniors going to college. You have incoming freshmen coming in, et cetera. So when you're seeing players trying out for the football team, what are your expectations for them?
Main thing for me that's huge is 1, communication, 2, relationships. I want guys that are going to come in and they're going to build healthy relationships with their teammates. We don't have cliques within our teams or none of that. Like when you come here, everybody your brother, and we're going to look out for each other. I don't care if it's the 5'2" dude that's playing for the first time or if it's the 6'5" guy that's a stud. Everybody here equal. And we're gonna do our work, and we're gonna handle our jobs, and we're gonna look out for each other. And then for me, more than anything is discipline. Like I'm huge on our guys. Like when somebody say clap, that mean clap. When somebody say behind the line, that don't mean on the line or in front of the line, that mean behind the line. And I try and equate the importance of it and why it's important. It's not just because somebody told you to do it or we trying to be, hard on you. It's because you might be in a car and you get stopped by the police and they tell you not to reach or not to do this, and you reaching could end your life. You not being able to follow direction and be disciplined in situations can literally end your life. You know, you're supposed to put your blinker on, you don't put it on, and somebody flying behind you, it can end your life. And so I tell them, like, yeah, we talking about being in the line and keeping the line straight or tucking your jersey in. But at the end of the day, like, man, this game is how we teach life. And, for our young men, it's an opportunity for us to reach them in a way that might save them one day. You know what I'm saying? And if we do this, we do it the right way and we really hold them accountable to that standard, then they don't just become champions because they win a state championship. They become champions in life in the way that they carry themselves every day with how they go about their business. One of the sayings that I give them is the way you do, everything or anything is the way you do everything. If I'm not handling my business in the classroom, but I'm cold on the field, it's not going to matter. It won't matter. If I don't handle my business at home, I'm not listening to my parents or whatever, and I'm killing it on the football field, it's gonna come back to get you at some point. And karma is real, it's a real thing. And so you better handle your business in all phases of your life and go about it like a champion, with your chin up, or it could literally cost you your life. And so discipline is a huge part of our program, and it's not the same as some of the other, schools, and especially the Black programs, but it's the way that I like to run things here. And we talk about being a different breed. And when we talk about being a different breed, that means that, like, it's okay to stand out from the crowd. It's okay to believe in something and stand for something and be that person that's over there when it's 100 people over there, and then stand on it. Don't be fake about it. It's no faking in this game. If you really believe what we talking about, then stand on it with everybody. And so, yeah, those are my main messages to our incoming guys. And really, when you have a culture in place, those guys just fall in line. They don't have a choice because you don't fit in. You'll be singled out if you're not handling your business a certain way. Guys that show up late, man, I don't even have to say nothing. The older guys, they send them to the hill.
Right.
At 3:15, I don't start practice. My leaders start practice. I don't even have to be out there. They can run practice themselves. And that's the way that we've gotten. And it's taken 3 years to get there, but we there.
Yep. I was just going to say that it can get to a point where your leaders who knows how you are, they be like, Coach, I got this. This is how things go here. So I love it.
At halftime, man, I went in there. I'm ready to go in, and the captain said, "Hey, Coach, can y'all step out for a minute?" Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's taken us a while to get to that point, but man, we did multiple times this year. The captains then been like, "Coach, we got it. Y'all can step outside." And they handle whatever we need to handle. Then we go in and we make the corrections and we go take care of business. So we creating leaders, man. We creating men that are going to lead in our communities, and they're going to be different. They're not going to follow the crowd. And I love that. I love it. I love that part of this job.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I love hearing that. We talked earlier about how schools are scared to come to the city, and how, if you flip it around, us going out to there could be dangerous. One of the biggest stories, and it's very unfortunate, but some of the biggest stories in high school football this season, and of course past, but definitely this season has been even more. It hasn't even been about the football games. It's been about the altercations going on at schools, city schools, county schools, don't matter where it is. What are your thoughts on that, and what is your school doing to prevent altercations? And also, do you feel that it's going to get to a point that they're going to start having parents there only and banning outsiders who keep on causing these commotions at football games?
So it's crazy you talking about that. We actually just had a youth coach get shot last night by a disgruntled parent.
What?
Yeah.
Where was this at?
It was down at Walls. One of the
so that's what I heard happen.
Yeah. And so anybody that's been around, youth football here in St. Louis, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. All of the people that got stock in these little kids, man, and the little kids don't want to do nothing but have fun and make everybody happy. So I'm hoping that this is a wake-up call for us to understand that this game is not about having this ego contest and trying to stock up the very best kids so you can walk into the barbershop and talk. This thing about us teaching kids about life, those kids that witness that, man, that's going to be something that they got to carry with them for the rest of their life. So you don't even know what you're doing, and it's over a game. Ultimately, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a game. And so our job is to make guys, make kids love this game, man, and understand what it teaches you about life. As far as the high school games, we were actually one of the first that had an issue. A couple of years back, my first year, we played Live for Life, and we had a game get shut down in the third quarter or second quarter, right at halftime or right after halftime. And so we went to a policy where you have to have clear bags, you have to have ID. If you're under 18, you got to be here with the parents. So ain't no dropping your little kids off, and having them run up in our school and all of that and start stuff. So I think that if people just look at the model that we've put out and start to do that, then you don't have to worry about issues, because you'll end up with people at the games that really want to see a football game. And so I think we have a perfect model. So if you're struggling with that, then you need to get in contact with myself or my AD, and we can kind of share the information that we have on how we're running things here. And we really haven't had any issues since that night a couple years ago. It's been huge for us. So I think that as long as athletic directors and schools put the right things in place, you won't have those issues. You really just had the issues when people drop their kids off and the kids don't go to either one of the schools. So there's not an administrator that can really threaten them with anything, and they really just show up and they're not even there for the football games. So it's all avoidable. But there's some schools that feel like they're it's a bad thing for them to have things in place, and that's going to look bad on them, so they don't do it. But I think that every school, whether you're in West County, South County, or wherever, you need to put things in place to make sure that the game is safe for people coming to see the game. And that's who we care about. We care about the people that are coming to see the football game. And everybody else that's showing up just to start stuff, they can go and have a party somewhere else. So right. Yeah, just put the right things in place, and you don't have to have all the issues that you have, or just say that parents can come, because who wants to play with 20 people in the 40 people in the stands? That's right. Not fun, and that's not what this game is about either. So just put the right things in place so that you don't have to worry about doing that or worry about having an issue.
Bunny, you have a question?
Yes, Coach, before I go, my question regarding the next level, so that you have leaders, you got seniors, for them to be prepared for the next level, it's probably just not a one answer, but what is one of the important tools do you have them to get ready for the next level? And next level means, if not college, because everyone is playing football, is not going to go to college or get a scholarship, but the next level to how do they handle life, getting a job or whatever their life holds for the future for them.
Yeah, that's the communication piece for me. That's why I tell them how important that is for me. My kids, if they're going to miss something, they're going to show up late, whatever it is, they will communicate. They understand that they are to communicate that with me themselves, not from their mom, their dad, none of that. I need to hear from you because I believe communication is a skill that spans across everything. If you're great at communication, you can be great at just about anything and be successful in just about anything. Sometimes communication can even prompt having a academic scholarship or being a scholar. Sometimes being able to just communicate the correct way will put you in places in and of itself. So for me, it's really just teaching our young men that it's okay to communicate, because that's something that we struggle with. Communicating how we feel about stuff, communicating, the way that we look at things and all of that. So I try to teach my guys just that communication is important and that you're going to need it for the rest of your life. And if you are really good at it, it's going to take you far. And I think that that's a simple, way to get our kids into the positions that maybe they normally don't go into, because you can be smart and still not have opportunities if you don't know how to carry yourself and deal with different types of people from different walks of life. I can go and talk to somebody on the north side, and I can go have a conversation in a boardroom, and I know how to carry myself in those spaces. And the way that I'm going to talk to them is not going to be the same way that I talk to my homeboys. And so just teaching our kids, that there's a difference in how to understand that game and play that game so that you can have success and get the opportunities that you deserve, I think is important, and something that, we need to be cognizant of and make sure we're teaching them. You'll walk past some teenagers, man, they'll be talking like no adult is around, and so just teaching them, understanding their surroundings and how to communicate in different spaces.
That's what's up, man. And before we continue, Bundy, you got to go ahead and leave. So thank you for being on the show and chatting it up with Coach K-Dub.
Appreciate you. You always got good questions.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Now I know you're going to finish your interview, but much success to the rest of your season. Shout out to all your players, your coaching staff, to Coach Mitchell. And hopefully, what is it, mid-October? So about a month from now, we should be hearing about who's going to what, sectional, state? Like, y'all go to state right after Thanksgiving?
So our last game will be next week, and then we're in district play.
So yeah, so you want the state championship though? You'll be like latter part of November.
It'll be December, early December.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So this time next month, hopefully I'll be like, okay, in the playoffs, I'll be like, okay, I'm listening for them going to state. Okay. So 6 weeks from now, then, Coach K-Dub, I may be like, hey, Lutheran North is state bound, all right?
Let's get it.
All right, much success, and everyone have a great night.
You have a good night.
All right, bye. And once again, this is your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth, and over to the left side of the screen over here. There we go. Over here, we have special guest
K-Dub, Coach K-Dub, Lutheran North head football coach.
There it is. So let's keep on going with these conversations here. So one of the biggest topics, and I think this started after you became a head coach at Lutheran North, but the NIL and the transfer portal. You see, you laughing already. I ain't asked the question, but you already know what's up. What has been your thoughts in regards to NIL? And I'm hearing now that it's getting to a point that high schoolers, while they're still in school, are getting like NIL deals already before they go into college. What are your thoughts about NIL and how that has been affecting, if it has, your school, or do you see becoming you can see it long term affecting Lutheran North?
Man, it's impacted anybody in football. It's one of the biggest changes, and if you haven't gotten with the program, then you getting left. I think you see that with Clemson and Dabo Swinney, he's elected to not utilize, the transfer portal, and you can see what it's doing to his program. You see what Dion was able to do in 1 year. So I think it's been a change to the game. I think I love the fact that kids getting paid. This a tough game, and if you good enough that somebody want to give you a couple meal, then you pretty bad. You're a bad guy, and you probably bringing a lot of money to the school anyway. And so for a long time, the institutions were able to get money off of these kids' likeness, and now the kids, if I'm a big time guy, I can get money off of my own. So You see that with Luther Burden and all the things that he's doing. So I love it. I love it. On the high school side of things, it's definitely impacted recruiting. There's guys that are, in the past, would be a Division I Power 5 guy. He will end up going FCS. There's a guy who, will make that FCS back in the past that ends up playing D2 ball. So there's been a trickle down effect, but with the NIL transfer portal, in my mind, you always end up at the level you're supposed to be at anyway. So if I'm a high school kid and the only schools interested in me are Division II schools, then I'm going to go to a Division II school. And if I'm good enough, I'm a ball out there and then I'll transfer up, and you saw that with Cody Schrader, the starting running back from Mizzou, who's one of the top SEC running backs right now, a kid that I coached against at Lutheran South. He balled out at Truman. And then end up going and transferring to the SEC at Mizzou. And he's the starter over dudes who maybe, guys would have recruited before him when he was coming out. So I think you end up at the level you're supposed to be at. Likewise, if I'm a Power 5 kid, but I'm just not cutting it, I end up going FCS or Division II, and now I got a chance to play. So it all works out. The issue becomes when kids don't have guidance. So if you don't have guidance and you get yourself in a deal that, you're giving somebody a percentage that's crazy for multiple years and stuff like that, and you get played in that way, or if you get guidance from a parent or somebody that tells you that you need to transfer because you're not getting the opportunity and they don't have any clue, what the next move is and stuff like that, then you get kids stuck in the portal. So it's awesome for college athletes. For high school athletes, not so much unless you're among the elite. If you're among the elite, you loving it right now because everybody trying to decide, who can pay you the most. So I think it's just the game. It is what it is at this point, and you better figure out a way to play the game or you're gonna get left.
And I'm glad you brought that up because a prime example, and not trying to put this player on the spot, but it is what it is. But Dominic Lovett, he is an amazing wide receiver, or was last year for Mizzou. Was leading the SEC in receiving yards and touchdowns, etc. And after the season, I believe after the season, he went right to Georgia because he felt that was a better opportunity for him. And of course, the money was talking, but the NIL. And of course, reigning defending champions and everything. So he was like, hey, let's make this happen. So he gets to Georgia and he only has like maybe 20-something catches in the span of 6 games, and less than 300 yards, while Luther Burden is now the best wide receiver in the SEC, which normally means probably in all of college football, he's one of the best wide receivers. And they're talking about possible Heisman, votes and whatever. Absolutely. So like you said before, the transfer portal, you have to have the right people behind you because there has been so many instances in which you've seen players who feel, well, oh yeah, I should be starting, no doubt. And I ain't getting to start here, so I'm about to transfer to a different school. The grass ain't always greener.
Yeah, and what I say about Dominic Lovett is we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So you got to think, if I'm the dude at Mizzou and I'm doing what I'm doing, but they paying this guy they paying Luther and he ain't got near the yards or anything that I got. And then I got Georgia, the reigning champions, offering me to pay more, like I'm one of them guys, right? And I just saw what Jamison Williams did by going to Alabama from Ohio State. So in my mind, I make this move. I'm at Georgia. I'm getting paid what I deserve. It's a good move. And at the end of the day, he getting paid what he getting paid, regardless of how many catches he got. So I think that it worked out for both of them because if Dominic Lovett is at Mizzou, then maybe Luther not having the experience that he having right now. And so in my mind, hopefully both young men end up where they, want to be and they both get paid and get what they supposed to get. But it's easy to do it in hindsight and look and say, man, he got 20 catches and Luther doing this. But Luther wasn't doing that if Dominic Lovett is there. They were going to have to spread those catches out. And if I'm Dominic Lovett and I had a more productive season, just like if I'm in the NFL, if you got 15 catches and I got 50 and you getting paid more than me, I'm gonna have an issue, you know? And so I get it. And I'm going to the champions. So in my mind, I'm like, look, I'm gonna go win the championship and I'm about to get paid, you know. And the season is still young. You know, who knows what he ends. He might end up having a huge role, and that's why he ends up getting drafted. So you know, we end up where we're supposed to be. And right now he's supposed to be at Georgia, and they got a chance to win a national championship, and Mizzou don't, you know. So he do have something that you know, Luther don't have that opportunity, you know, but Luther is having a great season, and I'm just glad to see both young men shining from St. Louis.
And I mean, Mizzou may have a chance because they play Georgia in a few weeks, so they may have a chance. You know what I'm saying? Some serious noise.
They better keep Luther close. You never know. You never know what Georgia's scheming on. You know, Kirby smart. He'll try to make something shake.
Hey, I know that's right. Miss Dub asked, how much guidance to college give student athletes on NIL opportunities and pitfalls?
It's so early in the game that there's not much guidance. Like even the coaches and the college coaches are just figuring out, you know, how to play it, and they all had their different ways that they are attacking it. You know, Mizzou actually does a really good job with their NIL, you know, deals and everything. I think they're one of the top, you know, 15, 20 schools at handling it. But you got schools that do it different ways. A school like Florida, from my understanding and talking to coaches, they got guys that, like, they don't even have walk-ons. They got dudes, everybody is a scholarship on the program through NIL. So now even your guys that you practicing against are top-notch guys, you know, and they feel that that's the best way to do it. You know, others are incentive-based, and all right, who's the guy that's going to do the most for us? That's who we want. So I don't think there's much guidance or anybody that's really regulating it, which is why it's like the Wild Wild West. And, you know, a guy like Dion can go in and turn the program around in a couple months.
Right, most definitely. And Ms. Dub, it's the same question, but in regards to the portal, any guidance in regards to the portal? Probably not, huh?
No, it's a lot of guys in the portal that get stuck in the portal.
Right.
You know, some people's guidance are their parents, and their parents might not have a single clue. They might just be upset with the coach. You know, some people really don't have a choice, and the college coach that they playing for tells them that they need to get into the portal because they want to bring other guys in. You know, so it's tough. You got to try and reach out to if your high school coach is knowledgeable, or find somebody that's knowledgeable on those things that can help you navigate that situation. I know myself, I've helped several players navigate being in the transfer portal and trying to help get them placed and stuff like that. And you know, so it's a tough world, but it's a business now. You know, and so when it's a business, you better make sure you educate yourself. So if you got a student athlete at home and they're at that level of an athlete, then these are things that you need to have conversations with them about and talk to some people that know what they're talking about.
So we've brought him up a few times now, but let's talk about the effect, the Coach Prime effect that he has had over college football, man. And of course, it's going to affect high school because you're going to see him recruiting, and you may have already have some people from Colorado recruiting, you know, some of your kids. But just from your point of view, man, just tell us how much Coach Prime, in your eyes, has affected the game of college football and what he's doing and bringing and exposing haters and exposing other things because of who he is and how he is.
Yeah, I mean, he one of a kind. And he got supreme belief. And that's what makes him a legend and what he does. And the way that he's changed the game, man, like now, like coaches might not get as long to turn programs around. It's already been like you get like 2 years, you know. And now Prime's shown that it can be done in a year. And so he's put pressure on guys. He's also allowed people to see that, all right, it's okay to be you, right? And be a black coach and be you and embrace that and embrace our culture and embrace our our artists and our actors and all of that, and have them be around the program and let these kids see what excellence looks like. And I think it's super, super dope that he didn't go there and just sell out, and it's a lot of guys that'll go there and, how you guys doing? And he said, no, I'm gonna do this my way. And he actually got them, trying to do the things that he want them to do. They coming out, they playing the HBCU. He got the band playing the HBCU songs, and he got old women dancing in the locker room and all kind of stuff, man. So
Play my music.
Yeah, play my theme music. So I love what Prime is doing and what he's doing for the culture, and Lil Wayne bringing the team out and all of that. It's something that and one day I hope I can do that to a place and open their eyes. Right now I gotta make sure I got clean music on. I can't have certain songs played and all of that. So I think it's dope that he really embracing our culture and showing that I can be a God-fearing man and I can still listen to some, Lil Baby. I think that's dope. So what he's doing is incredible, man. And then he doing it on the field too. He winning more than most people thought he was. I remember arguing with several people, and they all eating crow, and he didn't care receipts. And I think that people gonna have an issue in about a year.
Oh yeah,
he gonna be really on that, and I can't wait to see it. I was a believer in Dion from the start. I actually remember having conversations with Carl Reed, who spends a lot of time up there now. He's pretty connected. I told him one time, man, I said, you need to get out of that group, because he was in a group chat of guys that was hating on who Dion was. I said, they told me he can't coach. Man, I seen him in high school, he can't coach. I said, hey man, look, Prime is he gonna be somewhere major in just a couple years, and it happened. So yeah, I saw what his vision was from the start, and I think that is playing out just like he wanted. And eventually we're gonna be talking about Prime and playing against Saban or Kirby Smart for a chance at a national championship. And we haven't had that. We ain't had that. We done had some guys that got opportunities, but we ain't had nobody that looked like us take it to that level. And I think that that's dope.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So let's stick with the college theme. So have you, outside of Prime, have you been following a lot of college football this season?
Man, honestly, I'm scouting on Saturdays. Every now and then I take a look. I watch a little bit of the LSU and Mizzou game because I'm an LSU fan. So I watched a little bit of that game, and I like what Mizzou is doing right now as far as actually getting the ball down the field and all of that. But what I do know is there's a lot of parity right now in NCAA, and anybody can lose. Michigan's look pretty good, but they haven't had the test yet. So waiting to see them get tested. But everybody else has struggled, with somebody at some point, and I think that that's a direct impact from the transfer portal. I think that the playing field is so much more even now, and so now you don't have Saban just going and out recruiting you, and that's the end of the story. Nah,
you took the words out of my mouth, because I was about to say the same thing. Since this transfer portal and NIL became bigger and bigger, Alabama's hold on that this is the school you want to go to has started to go down.
And Georgia too. Like, Georgia ain't just killing people. Florida State ain't just killing people. Like, they battling week in and week out. So I just think that this is setting up where we have to go to a playoff system, because there's teams that are in the 10 to 20 range that can beat some of the teams that's in the top 5 on a given night. So I love what that part of the portal has done to college football. And I can't wait till we have a real tournament. I would love to see Washington versus Georgia, or Washington versus, I would love to see that, man. Or even just a school like USC getting back to that point where they can battle. I love it. So I think that part of the game has been cool with the portal. And just allowing more teams to have parity and nobody to really be dominant. But I like Michigan just because of the quarterback, man. I got to coach against him in his first game. He was at a Nazareth Academy over in Illinois and Lutheran North. We took Lutheran North up, and I was the defensive coordinator. And in that game, I told that guy, I said, hey, that kid going to the NFL. Like, he a bad boy. JJ McCarthy is a bad boy. So I know I like him in a playoff game with whoever they see. But yeah, I love the way the league is right now.
And I mean, think about it. Even last year, even though it didn't work out well in the championship game, but you had TCU.
Yeah, they sneak in there.
You know what I'm saying? Fighting for a national championship. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. But like you said, the parity and these teams learning about using NIL and transfer portal in a certain way and getting these certain guys is changing the game, man. So it's amazing. I love it. And like you said before, definitely got to get a bigger playoff system. Can't just have 4 teams.
Absolutely.
It has to be 12 teams, 16
teams. 12 teams.
Yeah.
It'll be incredible. Now,
exactly. Yeah. So I love it. I love it. So let's get into the big boys. Do you follow NFL?
A little bit. I'm a Steelers fan, so I mostly follow Steelers. And then I like clowning on Dallas, so I check in with them every now and then too.
Well, we're gonna clown right now because as you see on your screen, we have week 5 results, and the Bears finally won the game last Thursday night at Washington. And as you see, the Jaguar. Now, this team here, the Bills, you just don't know what this team is so inconsistent. You don't know what you're gonna get because they had a great victory against the Dolphins last week. Then you go to London, and for what I understand, they arrived in London like on a Friday, knowing that you could have gotten there days before just to kind of get used to the time and everything, And Jacksonville, they stayed in London because they faced Atlanta the prior week in London. So they stayed there. But still, Buffalo got up there after a great win against Miami. Yep. I'm like, okay, maybe Josh Allen and them, they ready. Here we go. And boom, what happens? They lose. It's like this.
I'm guessing Travis Etienne.
Say it again.
I'm guessing Travis Etienne. Did he go off in that game? The running back.
You know what? I didn't follow the game. I just saw the score and I was like, wow. Kristen Noel says go Steelers. Okay, so someone else who's a Steelers fan is watching this. But once again, make sure y'all go ahead and like and share this stream right now. Let's get even more people tuned in. Let's get more comments going. Don't be shy. Hit that share button and let's have some more fun with yours truly and Coach K Dub.
Them Lions, man, they've been impressive this year.
Hey,
he got them.
So last year I had them in the division. Of course, they came up one game short, making the playoffs. My prediction was they're gonna win it this year, and I love their head coach. I love what he's done with Jared Goff. I love how he just got the whole, his intro press conference. They called him crazy because he's talking about taking knees off,
taking the
knees, but it's his energy and how he gets these guys to believe, just like yourself, getting these guys to believe that they can do it. And he has this team doing an incredible job right now. They're I believe, well, we go find out in a second in the standings, but they only have one loss so far. That gets the Seahawks. But they've been playing incredible, and I am a huge believer. Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions. But yes, I'm a huge believer of the Lions. The Colts defeated the Titans 23-16. Without Anthony Richard, he hurt himself. He'll be out for the next 4 weeks. So Gardner Minshew will be, he'll be holding things down. I'm not sure how great that would be long term, but we'll see. Miami got back to their winning ways against the Giants. The Giants, that's just a laughing stock.
They terrible. Oh man.
Yeah. Speaking of terrible, the Patriots, they're like 1-4. Bill Belichick. Do you feel, especially with you being the head coach, do you feel that Belichick has been exposed because he doesn't have Tom Brady?
Yes. What did I tell you? I said players win games. And it's really just a matter of what coaches can get the players. And that's what makes you a great coach is can I attract great players? A lot of times we associate uniforms with greatness when really it's just the people that's filling them. A team or program can become great within a season if you fill them with the right people. And so Tom Brady not having them, yeah, it hurt. If I got Dakari Hollis this past weekend, man, we win by 40 points and we lost. It's just that I know that it ain't me. Like I'm not trying to take no, I need my guys. I want all my guys. I want them healthy. I need them. So yeah, Belichick has been exposed. I think he's a great coach. But being a great coach includes having great players, and right now he don't have that. So right now he's not a great coach. And most people, that's how they are, and that's from high school all the way to the NFL. The best high school coaches here got great football players. Ain't nobody out here out coaching, killing nobody, coaching nothing. We all running the same stuff. So it's players, and just making people understand that part. If you don't understand it, look at the Patriots. They were good every single year, when you had to deal with Tom Brady. And now since he's left, they just ain't been there.
And you brought up a good point in regards to the situation in New England. First off, especially if you don't have Tom Brady, who in the heck wants to go to New England and play there?
Being cold? No, I'm trying to what Sexy Red say? I'm out here in Miami. I'm trying to be in Miami.
Right. but and then also it reminds me of like the days in Cleveland when LeBron James and the Cavaliers, like prior to LeBron and them actually winning, or once LeBron became a winner after he left the Heat. Prior to that, they didn't acquire no big talent guys or no big free agents to go to Cleveland. But once LeBron came back with the ring, all of a sudden, Kevin Love, all of a sudden, you seeing J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert and so on and so on, because they want to be a part of the winning culture.
Hey, you talking now. People were all on LeBron and they talk about, well, so and so Kobe stayed he was in LA. Yeah, he stayed there. Yeah, Golden State. Yeah, they stayed there. They built that because Golden State is a place to be. But if you in Cleveland, like LeBron had to go to Miami, he had to go to Miami and build who he was up in order to get people to Cleveland. That move was the most intelligent move to say, all right, look, I'm a champion. Now I'm going to get people to Cleveland because I done proved I'm a champion. And that was the only way he was ever going to win in Cleveland, because nobody wanted to go there because there's nothing to do there.
Exactly. and people, he should have stayed. No, because he even told management, like, bring in some guys that I can win with. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, well, who you had? Danielle Marshall, Mo Williams. Like, what they gonna do? What they gonna do?
Ilgauskas and Verjao.
It's like, okay, y'all great role players, but he needs guys because he's coming in, 17, 18, and you expecting him to be the leader of a team to win a championship, and he don't have the right guys to learn how to win.
Yep.
So yeah, like we both agree, he went to Miami. I know it's a football. I know it's a football topic, people, but it's the reason why you bring this up, because it correlates with what's going on with New England.
Yeah.
But it's about getting people who's there, who have that championship pedigree, not just coaching, but on the field. And right now, New England doesn't have that at all.
Nope.
Don't have it at all.
They got to find a quarterback. I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. He's not a guy that's going to have people wanting to come play with him or none of that. So that's the next move for them, is to find who their franchise quarterback is and, go from there.
Another team that is kind of like on that similar path as the Bills to me are the Baltimore Ravens. They had a great start to the season, but then now they lost, last week. Should have beaten your team. I'm sorry. They should have beaten the Steelers.
Yeah.
But You know, it's like, what's
Our
Lamar doing?
OC terrible.
You know, what's happening? You know, the Bengals, even though they've had a rough start, I know Joe Burrow was hurt, but I still have them being that team in the AFC North. I see them being a serious threat to once again get into the playoffs. And as long as he's healthy and he's upright, the Bengals have a great chance to make another big run going on to this the rest of the season. The Eagles. I saw their schedule, and you know, a matter of fact, I want to bring it up if I still have it. But their upcoming schedule is gonna be a gauntlet. Like they have the Chiefs, they have to play the Bills, they got the Cowboys, they got the 49ers. Now it's not all in a row, like how I said it, but those next 5-6 weeks, those are teams they're playing.
Yeah,
They have a gauntlet coming up. So I look forward to seeing how the Eagles fare off after they face those teams.
Them 49ers look good too.
Ooh, man, I hate to say it, one of our co-hosts, T-Bone, he loves the 49ers, and I can't hate on them at all because they just got it going on, man. A team that does not have it going on, especially after 4 snaps of the season, are the New York Jets. Once Aaron Rodgers got hurt, that was it. That was it. But then it's crazy because, you know, the Broncos had, not saying they were going to win the AFC West at all, but they haven't had the best start to their season either, with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson year 2. They ain't saying let's ride right now.
That's right. Russell Wilson, after listening to what Marshawn was talking about, I don't know if you've seen the interview. But after hearing him say what he said about Russell Wilson, they not gonna win. That tell you they're not gonna win. It seemed like Pete Carroll had a great nucleus around him and protected him, and he's not really that guy, you know. Now, luckily for him, he won enough early on that he was able to get Sierra out the deal.
Facts.
You know, but you know, he got to be careful with that too. You know, anybody mess with Future, he can come back around whenever.
Right. Miss Dub says in regards to the Jets, looks like they don't have a plan B if Rodgers can play. Exactly, because Zach Wilson just ain't that guy.
Nah.
He's not. Bottom line, he's just not that guy. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and the Swifties are going wild. We'll leave it at that. Sunday Night Football, once again, San Fran, they just destroyed the Cowboys, turned them to cowgirls. I'm sorry if you're a Cowboy fan.
Good.
It is what it is, but they turned the Cowboys to cowgirls.
Dak needs to give that money back.
Oh my God.
That boy's stealing.
And then Monday Night Football, we had the Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love had a good start to the season, but these last few weeks, it's kind of got to reality. And I think what it is that these coaches see the tapes, and it's like, okay, let's come with this and see what he does. And then now he's getting exposed.
He's struggling with seeing underneath coverage, man. I saw a pic that he threw in the guy. I was just like, man, he cannot see underneath coverage. So, you know, every week he's going to get linebackers and stuff like that, either intercepting or getting their hands on the ball. And when I watched that Raiders game, that's one of the games I watched. And, man, he did not look good. You know, he didn't look as bad as Dak did. Dak looked terrible, but he looked pretty bad, you know, watching one of the interceptions he threw to, I think, Spillane, the linebacker that used to play for the Steelers. He's a captain on that Raiders team. He got an interception that it should have been a clear read, but I guess he didn't see him underneath. So Jordan Love, he got work to do. He's still young, but he got some work to do.
Yeah, man. Definitely has some work to do. And, man, Coach, this has been an incredible interview with you, man. And I'm definitely looking forward to many more talks with you and seeing how you and your team continue to just progress throughout the season and even throughout the years, man. Did you have any special shout outs?
Man, shout out to my family and my coaching staff and my players, man. Let's make sure we take care of business this week. So I'm not getting talked about in the barbershops.
Yeah, most definitely, man. But once again, thank you for your time. Great interview. Make sure that your players check out this interview that we had today. Your coaches, who your family, everyone, your followers out there, social media. Share this stream with them, and let's get more people tuned in to the Platform Sports Talk Show. Let's have even more coaches on to tell their story. So, Coach K-Dub, thank you once again for your time, man. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, man, appreciate you, and you do a heck of a job, man. You keep it going on, man. I love it, Smoke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said before, next year when y'all playing Cardinal Ritter or East St. Louis, so if y'all, you know what? I'm sorry. Before we end this conversation, XFL real quick. Because we talked about earlier how you and East St. Louis might have a game at Lindenwood or whatever else, and they're talking about making finally some changes in the dome because of that money we got from Kroenke. So half is going to the city, half is going to the county. So talking about making hopefully some dome updates, upgrades.
I need to.
Yeah, right. Because I saw the field on when Mizzou played against Memphis. I heard it was just atrocious.
Look like concrete out there.
Oh my God. But the XFL has made such a huge impact, and we saw the turnout. We had the best turnout throughout the XFL, and word is they're talking about having the XFL championship next year here in St. Louis. So that'll be awesome. And now talking about having a merge between the XFL and USFL. So we know you had the NIL, we had the transfer portal. Of course, you have college and everything. But what are your thoughts on the XFL and how it can also impact and present more opportunities for high schoolers who may not get the opportunity to go to that college, and XFL may be that another door to open up for opportunity? How you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually got to attend some of the Battlehawks games. That was some of the most fun I have had attending sporting events, period. So they were fun to watch. Our fans were great, and they absolutely should have the XFL championship here, and we should have been in the playoffs last year, honestly. But as far as those opportunities goes, I think that the XFL is more post academic. You've gone to college, you've done XYZ, and this is the next shot. I think that that's where it kind of fits in. I don't think it's another option as far as I'm not going to school, I'm going to the XFL. But if you go and you go to school and you play ball and you don't get that dream of going to the NFL, you still got another opportunity. Now those guys are good football players, so it's not like the average Joe can just step out there. I think they held a trial here, and you had all kinds of people going out there running 4.9s and falling over and looking crazy. This is it's a real league with guys that then played at that level, and but any extra football is good, for our game and our youth and our young adults. Just having that opportunity to do that thing that you love, man, and stay away from any type of trouble. So I'm a huge fan, and I'll be at every home game next year. I love the Battlehawks, and I love the atmosphere that was, down there, man. I had incredible times at those games.
Miss Dub says she already has her 2024 season tickets. She loved the game that she went to. I went to one game myself last year. I went to the home opener, and it was just an amazing scene. I love how it was so authentic to St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
everything.
Right. It wasn't just generic. This, you saw a touchdown. Is if you want to go and take a ride with me, stuff like that. I love that vibe and that feel. It made it feel like it was a St. Louis game, not just going to a game period. So that was amazing. And then she asked, is there a physical risk for high school graduates going to the XFL?
I mean, I don't think anybody can go from high school to playing professional sports. And if somebody is capable of doing that, they're probably going to college on a scholarship to play high level football. You know, there is so much growth from the time that you're 18 years old to the time that you 20, 24, just physical growth, mental growth, in order to handle that type of lifestyle and everything, man. Like, that's a job. You got men that literally they kids, are in the stands, man, and you 18 trying to play against them. Nah, there's people that feed their family to play this, playing this game, man. They don't have time for that. So I don't think any high school player is ready to make no jump into the XFL. But I do feel that it's a viable option if you go and play in college and you don't quite make it to that next level. It's another opportunity for you to keep playing this game and maybe even playing in your hometown city, which would be, incredible.
And once again, speaking of incredible interview, coach. And once again, thank you for your time, and best of luck to the rest of your season, and look forward to seeing you again. And what I was going to say was we had that game between East St. Louis and Cardinal Ritter, whomever else, get that pass going.
Oh yeah,
I got talk show. All right, man. Well, you have a great evening.
You too. Take care, Smoooth.
All right, now. Once again, that was Coach K-Dub, Kyle Wagner. Incredible interview. For those, once again, watching the show for the first time, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate y'all. 6 years consistently holding things down every Wednesday night. Once again, you can give us a follow on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Subscribe, click on that bell, because anytime we go live, you will be notified. Email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com and Instagram at platformsportstalk. Now, y'all think we done? We ain't done yet, because now the game is over. She's free. She's probably drunk now because her team just won. She's from the Boondocks. Jobo, what's happening? Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I about had a heart attack pooping in the living room because I was so nervous. Oh, throwing up all over the place.
Not pooping.
Oh my gosh. That was stressful as hell. I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous for the Twins, but that got a little too scary there at the end.
Man, yeah, I was looking at the game, to the side, trying to see what's happening, and everything worked out for a reason. They had a great interview with our special guest, gave you time to wild out, be emotional. Even though I would love to sing it live,
I can send you a video. Brendan got me. Maybe not for the show, but I can send you a video. Oh man, I replied to him because as soon as he told me he got that, you said now, and so I came down here and he sent it to me, and I was like, why do you love me? I am ugly. Like, why do you like this so much? Because I was so like,
y'all agree on the vibes, for better or for worse, for rich or for poor, for beautiful for ugly. Now, player.
Yeah. No, I mean, whew, he saw me looking good last Friday, and then he just saw me right there like that, but he's used to it by now. Thank you, Miss Dubs. 7 straight ALCSs. It's never been done. I was nervous for this series. Now I'm nervous for it's love. But yeah, nervous for the Rangers series now coming up, because they obviously dismantled the Orioles, sadly, pretty easily.
Yes. Let's go and talk about this bracket that just got updated, y'all. Just got updated. So as you see, this is Joe Knows talking about baseball and some hockey. The Rangers won earlier. They have not lost a game, y'all, in the preseason. In the postseason. They defeated the Tampa Bay Rays. and then they just destroyed the Baltimore Orioles. They just hate the AL East, bottom line.
You know, the AL East has 11-game losing streak in the playoffs now.
Wow.
For the best division probably in all of baseball. They're not performing in the playoffs when it matters most.
And then, as we just brought before, the Houston Astros, I'm thinking about football, they just defeated the Minnesota Twins, won that series 3-1. Earlier today, the Philadelphia, I almost say Eagles, Phillies, they defeated the Braves, so now the series is 2-1. If it wasn't for that incredible play in Game 2 at the end of the game, Joe, man, that play
was one of the best plays, not just in baseball. I was like, not just in playoffs, but in baseball I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And I saw an X today on social media, whatever you want to call it, that from the moment Iglesias came set and to the second Olsen caught that ball at first, that took 14 seconds.
Man,
that's crazy. A lot of emotion went on right there, but yeah, that was awesome. That was a great game and had a lot of. The first inning or 2 to 3 innings seemed like it was going to be a pitcher's duel today, and then
all of a sudden,
Bryce Harper happened.
Joe, it would be so awesome if the Cardinals just had a chance to get it. Oh, you know what?
I've seen so many. I seen Jeff Jones retweet the Nelly and Harper video saying Mr. DeWitt, Mr. DeWitt. Oh my gosh.
Yes. It just makes you just be like, truthfully, if you think about it, we could have had, for real, we could have had an outfield of Harper, Adolis Garcia, and Arozarena. That could have really happened, Joe.
Arozarena, okay. I'm sorry. The Rangers also DFA'd Adolis Garcia. He wasn't supposed to be this. I will say that. He's been good. But all 30 teams passed up on him after we released him.
That's
Rangers
the key.
Released him.
That's the key right there, though. We did it first. We opened up the gates.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the Rangers did too. And then they're like, we might as well stick with him. He's cheap. And then he's been a stud.
But he Reggie Jackson, Babe Ruth, and and all these people.
I can't say anything negative about a Ranger player right now because it'll come bite me in the ass. So yeah, he's Mike Trout.
Oh, and speaking of Mike Trout, remember we had the conversation. Remember we had the conversation about him. If you were him, if you would leave the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Now he loves Philadelphia. And he's seeing what he's seeing right now. If I'm Mike Trout, I'm saying, you know what? It's been fun, California. It's been fun, Anaheim. But I'm about to see what's going on in Philadelphia. You might as well. Just look at the team. Look at the energy. Bryce Harper ain't going nowhere anytime soon. Same thing with Trey Turner. Probably the same with Castellanos and Schwarber. Center field is right there for the taking. Who gonna stop you from playing center field?
Yeah, right now, so they have Brandon Marsh, who used to play with the Angels. He platoons with Rojas, their rookie, out in the outfield. And in the playoffs, Schwarber's not playing in the outfield right now. He's your DH, and Harper's playing first. And I don't know, it's just it all makes way too much sense. And we'll see. Would I like to see Trout playing with Bryce Harper every single day and going to the playoffs? Yeah, that'd be freaking amazing. It would be good for the sport, and it'd be good for his career. Everyone always talks about same thing you could talk about with Connor McDavid is they're the best in the game, but they don't have any rings. And that's always going to be something with Trout unless he somehow can win with the Angels or if he gets the hell out of there.
Right. And then another shocker, the Diamondbacks are up in the series 2-0, and right now they are beating the Dodgers 4-0 in the top of the fourth. They're about to sweep the Dodgers. So it leads me to ask this question. Do you think there's an issue with the playoff and how it is now with you having the wild card rounds and then the division round and then the LCS in the World Series? Do you think there's an issue and should it be changed at all?
So it's like a two-parter for me because it'd be hard to say that I think there's an issue because the Astros won 7 straight last year. Yeah, 7 straight last year to start off the series as the number 1 seed and end up winning the World Series. You know what I'm saying? So like the first year that happened, Astros won the whole damn thing. But last year, the what was it? The both NL 1-2 squads, 1 and 2 seeds, they both got bounced in the first round. You know, and
Right.
this year, the O's
the
won
Braves
101
got-
games, got bounced. The Dodgers are probably going to be freaking swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks, which I've said on the show. I didn't have
You
them
did.
being the division winner, but I said they're good. Corbin Carroll's a stud, and
Yep.
he's proven it right now. And I think they're kind of pissed off that everyone just kind of undermines them. And you know what? Philly's probably going to win tomorrow, and we're probably going to get a D-backs Philly series, and Phillies might, run all over them. But they've shown me a lot. I mean, they came back and beat the Brewers in both games. Brewers scored first, came back and won. They're most likely going to sweep the Los Angeles Dodgers with Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. I know they got pitching issues, but still, they're not hitting. And they might be going to Philly this weekend. So, I mean, but I'm starting to think, though, I think we've only had like 1 series so far in the wild card series that's actually gone to that 3rd game. You might as well just do the 1 game again at that point. You know what I'm saying? Just do 1 game and then start the division series a day or 2 sooner than we were this year.
So to the people who saying, oh, this needs to be changed because this is not fair for the higher team to be waiting 8 days to play a game. Da, 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 da. I'm just saying this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Because a couple years ago, teams were pissed off when they had that 1 game that you were talking about, wild card game, where it was 2 teams that both was like winning 100 games. And they both faced off each other and got bounced. While a team that won the Central or won whatever division had maybe 90 wins or 80 wins, but they got 2 teams who was in the wild card and they had to face each other just to get into the actual playoff. Those same people were pissed off because of that. Now you're going to be pissed off again because your favorite team, who was a top seed, had days off that you would love to have your best players get days off, Joe, because of a long 162 game season. Your body's breaking down. Having that extra rest is a great thing for postseason. So stop coming up with excuses and say, oh, they had 5 days off, so now they out of rhythm. No, stop the BS.
So I can go back a couple different ways, though.
Yeah,
you can go back all the way to 2006.
And that was the year that what happened.
Tiger said they were going to sweep us in 3 in the World Series, and they were off for a
Okay.
week, and we won in 5. And that's the same scenario. Or no, not even that. In 2011, we were the wild card team, won 85 games or whatever it was, and we went into Philly and beat them in 5, and up winning the whole thing. There's different scenarios, but it besides the Astros last year, it does prove that all the guys sitting around chilling at home, and then the Orioles did everything. They even had fans come into the stadium. They had like 9,000 fans at the stadium watching them do inter-squad games during this stretch of just sitting at home. Like they try to do everything. And I will say because we can talk about this is going to be talked about for so long because teams at the MLB that they want going to the championship series aren't going in the championship series. That's the only reason why this is getting talked about, because their Dodgers and their Braves aren't going. But I just lost the last year and then this year. Cardinals won the division last year and they get stuck with the division with a 3-game set. And the Brewers this year, 3-game set. I don't know how you fix that because the Cardinals and the Brewers are never going to win more games than the Dodgers and the Braves. That's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even if they spend the money, I don't think it's going to happen because the Dodgers and the Braves are going to spend more money than them. So that's the only thing I don't like, and I don't really know how you fix it.
You can't. I mean,
Exactly,
truthfully,
you
you
know.
can't. No, but besides moving up on payroll, Mr. Cardinals can do that, but they're afraid to do. So we will talk about that next week because we have a special guest that will get more into that. So we'll
I
save
will
that.
say though, like, yeah, we could spend money, and again, like I said, those other teams are going to spend. If we say we get Nola and Sonny Gray this offseason and one of those Japanese pitchers, the
Right.
Dodgers are going to go out there and get Shohei Ohtani, and they're going to get trade for Shane Bieber, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to do more because they can do more. They always will do more. This year, looking at the Cardinals roster, there's no reason we should have been a bottom 5 worst team in the league. So even that doesn't guarantee you're going to win more games than the Dodgers and the Braves.
And my only rebuttal in regards to, the whole how the Detroit Tigers had to wait 25 days to play a game again because they swept the Oakland A's that series. The playoffs schedule, the dates are already set in stone in regards to when the NLCS is going to be, when the championship series is going to be, when the World Series is going to be. That's not going to change. It's just a matter of if you beat your team in 5 games or 7 games or 4 games, whatever it is. So the Cardinals don't have no control over how long their opponent may be waiting because everyone is playing off the same schedule in regards to you already know in 2 weeks when the World Series is going to be. It's not going to adjust because the Tigers and the Cardinals swept both their opponents. So now they just got a whole week off of the baseball. No, nothing's going to change. It's already set in stone. So, like I said, I'm just some people that's like, no, don't complain. Go out there, do what you got to do as a team. Make your adjustments to stay sharp, whatever you got to do. So when it's time for game 1, ain't no excuses. That's just how I feel about it.
It does kind of suck, though. Like, say the Phillies win tomorrow and the D-backs win tonight. Then we got Friday and Saturday. Again, 2 weekends in a row of no playoff baseball. And I'm just like, I'm just getting into it, I'm like, my blood's just now pumping and getting me scared and this and that. And then I got to wait 2 days. And then I got to watch on a Sunday. Like, I don't know. But again, it doesn't help that the first year this happened, the Astros went 7-0 and then end up winning the World Series. And this year, because they've been to the World Series 4 out of the last 7 years and been to the championship series 7 straight years now, I think them being a 2 seed benefited them more than probably anyone else because their guys need it. Like Verlander needs it. Valdez needs it. Valdez needs it so bad. Like Hector Neris and Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, they needed that stuff. And Jose Abreu looks like a brand new player now. Like he's 36 years old. He needed that too. So, I mean, I think it definitely helps the Astros more than anyone, but it's only because they've been winning so much.
Ms. Dub says she thinks the long layoff is a detriment because no matter how much you practice, not as playing games, so teams can lose their edge. My thing is about that. You're in the freaking playoffs. If you lose your edge, that's your issue. Because what other inspiration do you need to stay on edge when you're fighting for a championship, especially those who never won one, or you got the ones who let's say, for instance, you're let's go back to basketball. Let's say you're LeBron James and you're 1 ring behind Kobe Bryant, or you're like Steph Curry and you have 4 rings and you want to get more than LeBron. You're gonna have that edge. Michael Jordan is gonna have an edge, no matter if the Bulls are off for 2 weeks. He's going to have an edge. So, like I said, true competitors, they're gonna have no excuse. They're going to make sure the team is ready to go when it's time for the bell to whistle or when it's time to say play ball. That's what great teams do. So, like I said, I just feel like that's just an excuse because a winning team is going to say, oh, whatever. A losing team going to say, well, because we didn't have. No. how many times do you hear, having that extra rest to get Chris Carpenter ready for Game 7 of the World Series was huge for us. Then getting a Chris Carpenter who is still having arm soreness because he had to pitch 4 games in 3 games in the 1 game, 3 games in a 7-game series. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, an excuse, but
I mean, I see it both ways, and it's obviously, it's like I said earlier, it's highlighted more now because MLB's favorite teams most likely are not going further. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dodgers, obviously, the Braves with, I mean, all the records the Braves broke this year. So good for baseball. I wanted the Orioles to win. I think the Orioles next year or the year after, that they remind me of the so in 2015 the Cubs beat us, went to the championship series, and they lost to the Mets, but everyone was saying they're a year ahead of schedule.
Right.
Won the World Series the next year. Or even the Astros, you know, like they made it to the division series and lost to the Royals in 2015. Didn't make the playoffs in 16 and then won it in 17. And so everyone was kind of thinking they were on schedule. I mean, there was even a magazine about that. So I think the Orioles are right there. I do think they exceeded expectations a little bit this year. But I mean, I think they're going to be running the East now for. I think they're like the next Astros, honestly, in the AL with all the young talent they got. That owner has got to spend money. He's got to spend money.
Yep. So switching gears from baseball to hockey, the season has started as of yesterday, and tomorrow night, the St. Louis Blues begin their quest for another championship, and there goes the lovely St. Louis Blues cap. Hopefully, we can see Joe in June or July host another big old Stanley Cup.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts in regards to? I know last week on Ladies Night you brought it up briefly, but what are your thoughts in regards to the upcoming season for the Blues? What are your expectations for this team?
I mean, it's again, last year I thought they were going to be a playoff team, not a legit Stanley Cup contender, but I thought they were good enough to make it and see what happens. I think they can do that this year, but probably like the last 2 wild cards, not an actual, getting in there in the division. But I mean, I'm excited. They got some young kids in there, and they get the Verana. I'm excited about Verana. I have him or Sonny scoring the first goal tomorrow night, which would be nice. Hopefully Benner has a bounce back year. Parayko, there's been a lot of talk about him. I'm still extremely worried about our defense because they didn't do anything to upgrade the defense, and that was our downfall last year. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was our downfall last year, but the defense was not good at all. So I'm hoping Parayko has a bounce back year, and we'll see. I mean, you had Chief saying he kind of wants it to be like 2019 again, but bro, we're years off of that. So hopefully he kind of gets with the times, and hopefully he sees that the game has changed just a little bit since the 80s when he was a player, and then in 19 when we won the cup. But who do you got scoring the first goal tomorrow?
Man, that's a great question. I'm gonna go ahead and say not Robert Thomas, but Jordan Kyrou. I got a feeling that he may come out, and because he's on a big prove it season, because he was talked about a whole lot in regards to the blame of why the team didn't elevate themselves more, because he didn't give himself more effort on the ice, which brings me to,
I do not like that. I'm tired of hearing like
effort.
Managers and coaches and people just like point their finger at one person.
Yeah.
Like Kyrou, he's like what, 25, 26?
Yeah.
It was like his first or second full year in the league, and we're talking about how he needed to score 50 goals instead of 30 last year. And I don't know. I just don't like how that happened, and it was all over the place. How Chief and him don't get along, and
right.
so we'll see.
But speaking of Chief, one of the big things that he said as he was upgrading the coaching staff was that he wanted to get more coaches that can resonate with these newer players, with these younger guys. And I think that's going to really be critical in regards to how these new coaches that have came in, how they interact with these players, how they, like I said before, resonate with these guys to, you have certain coaches that have this old school mentality, like you said about Chief earlier. Then you have these coaches who you understand these modern day players better. And coach wanted to make it a point to be more modern with these players, to really get to what gets them going, what pisses them off, what gets them to be like, all right, let's get it. So I hope that they're able to find that balance with the updated coaching staff and with these players that they brought in after the trade, and of course, players that you still have on the team now from last year as well, from throughout the full season.
I know that, and it's not nothing against men, but I know it's hard for men to understand and realize that it's 2023 and it's not the same old like, oh, I'm a guy, I eat meat and drink beer and
you
I'm
see
angry
me,
all the
you can't
yeah.
tell me nothing.
Yeah, like it's just kids are growing up different and raised differently these days, and it's okay for men to have emotion and want to go ahead and get things off their chest. And I don't see Chief being that type of guy, so bringing in other guys to help out with that might help a little bit because we got a little bit of a younger team now. Like I said, I mean, like, shoot, I'm excited about Jake Neighbors and Perunovic and Hofer, another year of Thomas and Kairu, so I mean,
right.
It's going to be an interesting year, that's for sure. I'll tell you what I did not like was seeing on X, I had to stop myself, a Ryan O'Reilly goal in a Predators jersey. I did not like that at all. That made me almost open my mouth last night. So
yeah, that has people like this.
I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
But,
well,
I mean,
that's what,
shoot,
and what's crazy is that my wife and I, Jamie, love you, see you soon. We went to his very last game as a Blue when they faced the Devils. That was the very last game that he played as a Blue, and then like the next day, he got traded. I was like, wow.
I know it happened so fast, like shoot, it's depressing, but it's a sport, but it's also business, and that's just how it goes, unfortunately. And him and Perron, man, whew, miss those guys.
So, prediction time. I know you said last week on the show that you see the Blues in regards to the West maybe being like the 4th or 5th best team in the West, which would be like a wild card spot. But let's talk about the Atlantic. Who do you see as being that team? I know last year Boston was the best team in all of hockey, won the President's Cup and everything, and then they got bounced in the first round. But who do you see coming out of the Atlantic?
I can't say. I mean, Boston, it'd be the easy choice, but they lost a good leader in Patrice Bergeron. He's just, he was their captain, and now, oh my gosh, why can't I think of his Marchand? Oh, he's like one of the most punchable faces in the world. Okay, and not just in hockey, but the world. But now he's their captain. He's been there for a long time. But I'm gonna say Florida. I think they got a lot of. I think they have a lot to prove this year. After getting bounced in the finals last year, no one thought they were going to be where they were, and so, I mean, Kachuk, he's just such a stud. So, but those 4 teams, you could honestly pick any of them, to be the winner in that conference.
Metro.
I like Pittsburgh, and I know they're older, which shout out to Crosby, Malkin, and I think it was Chris Letang. I think there's a cool graphic going around, but they passed up Jorge Posada, Derek Jeter, and I can't remember the other but as like
Mario
the Rivera. Okay. I couldn't remember if it was a pitcher or not, but now they're the longest trio in North America of being on the same team. So that's pretty cool. But they got Eric Carlson now, on defense. They missed the playoffs last year. Crosby has a lot to prove, so he's still the kid, so he's fun to watch.
I'm going with Carolina in that division. I'm seeing that this team is dangerous. They're a force to be reckoned with. So I'm gonna say Carolina. Let's go to the Pacific. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they're a fun team. I mean, they've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, and they're young and they're fast, and they're just, they're an exciting team to watch in the playoffs.
Let's go to the Pacific. Who you got?
Oh shoot! Real quick, did you see Vegas's banner raising last night out of a slot machine?
I missed it. I might check it out.
So Vegas.
I gotta check it out. Matter of fact, I'll be in Vegas along with my wife tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, you're going to Vegas. We're gonna check out the Usher show on Saturday.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You know what? I'll just go Vegas. I mean, Calgary, nah. Seattle, I mean, did you see
They
the
on the
goal
way.
last night? Tanev last night for Seattle scored against their own goalie. First game of the year, so whatever. But I'm gonna say Vegas. I'm gonna say Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going with Vegas too. And in the Central, of course, we want the Blues. Of course, we want the Blues, but we have to be realistic in who's gonna be the team and who you feel, Joe, would be that team in the Central.
I think people are sleeping on Minnesota and Nashville. But Chicago's going to be good too. Connor Bedard, he's already making a name for himself in the league 2 nights in a row. But I'm going to go Minnesota. I'll say Minnesota.
Man, I can't choose Colorado for obvious reasons because the owner. So I'm gonna say Dallas. I'm gonna go with Dallas Stars. That team right there also is dangerous, and we're gonna find out tomorrow. I know it's game 1. We're gonna find out how good this team is. I heard they have an incredible defense. So I look forward to seeing what the Blues do against the Stars, but I have them going all the way in the Central. So
yeah, I'm gonna say Atlantic and the Central will probably have the toughest conferences, honestly.
Yeah. So who do you have going out of the East?
What do you mean, like to the
I'm gonna say the World Cup,
World Series,
the Stanley Cup.
Out of the East? Oh shoot. Hockey, it's hard to go back to back. So I'm gonna throw the Rangers in there.
What? The Rangers?
Yeah, they were a good team to watch, and I can't count on Toronto. It's Toronto. Like Toronto sports don't do anything, so can't do that.
Man, I'm going to say Florida.
Yeah, I wanted to say them, but we'll see. It's a long year. Hockey's.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, hockey's just different in this. It's less amount of games, but it's a very long season.
And who do you have come out the West?
Connor's going to do it this year.
You said Connor? Oh, okay.
The Connor, not Connor Bedard. The Connor.
Hey, wait a minute. What?
Hell no.
So this will finally be the season that Edmonton gets over the hump, huh? Oh wow! Look at her.
She's been wearing her Halloween costume for days. Here, hold on. I'm gonna lift you up, okay?
Hey.
Hi.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Good. It's past your bedtime. Okay. We've been asking her since like June what she wants to be for Halloween, and she's been saying a pumpkin ever since then. So she stuck with it the whole time.
Tell Fred that I sent him a video to his.
Oh gosh, Brennan sent you the video. It does not go in the show.
Yeah. I'll see it after the show. I'll see
Oh
it.
my gosh. Okay.
And okay, so the West. Who you say you have again?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Oh man. Whew. Man, this is tough because
There's so many
like
good teams
Dallas.
to choose from.
No, I like Dallas a lot. I really feel like that team there. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and say Vegas. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So you have Edmonton and you have the Rangers in the Stanley Cup. Who's gonna win it?
Connor. It's not even the Oilers, it's Connor, and that's it.
All right, I have Vegas versus Florida, and I'm going to go with the St. Louis kid. Kachuk, was it Mac? I mean,
Matthew.
I'm gonna say Grady.
I thought you said I was supposed to be drunk. You're over here saying about to be like Makachu or something. I don't.
Right. Well, I couldn't recall if it was Matthew or Grady, but you said Matthew, so there we go. So I'm going with Florida to go all the way, and that is our hockey. Oh, and the wifey says cutest pumpkin.
Thank you. Also, Jamie, tell your mom I said happy birthday.
Happy
I saw that.
birthday to you. Happy. Yeah, shouts out to Mother and Love you. Hope you had a wonderful birthday. Shouts out to the ladies of the WNBA. Right now, the Las Vegas Aces are winning 73-52 in game 2 of the WNBA Finals Best of 5 series. As you see on your screen, the Aces lead 1-0. And yes.
And the NBA, is it 7 or 5? For the
7.
finals? Why is it 5 for the girls?
Great question. I have no answer.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. Truthfully, I feel like it's just money. You know, it's maybe they just don't have that bank to try to extend each series. Because if you look at it, the first round, best of 3.
Yeah.
And then everything else is best of 5. In the NBA, every series is a best of 7. Now, years back, I can't recall how many years back, but back in the day, the first round used to be best of 5. And then every other series after that would be best of 7. But now,
it's just like
in
baseball before last year, 3-5. It used to just be 5. Or I guess you could say 1-5-7-7.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I just feel like it's money. And shouts out to the city of San Francisco because they will now have a WNBA team in 2025, I believe. And a lot of the coaches that are on the Golden State Warriors, they'll be helping coach the team in San Francisco when they start going up and running and everything. So shouts out to them as the WNBA continues to expand. And yes, you have a question.
This is just seeding for baseball again real quick. Do you think the MLB should reseed once the wild card's done? Okay. All right. Yeah.
That's the only change I had. That's the only
Yeah.
change I had is to reseed.
Because I know
which I feel
Chris
like
Rose said that, NFL, they, move things around. So, because I think the Phillies and the Braves would be so much better if it was a 7-game series instead of a 5, and we got them 5 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So, if we would have done that in this, it would have been D-backs versus Philly. No, Philly versus the Dodgers, and then D-backs against the Braves. I just think that would have worked out a little bit better, but maybe that's something they change next year. Who knows? But I was just curious.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would change would be reseeding after each round. So I agree on that. But with that being said, an incredible show. Thank you to Bunny for being on earlier with me. Of course, our special guest, K-Dub, Kyle Wagner. Joe, I'm not sure if you heard any an interview. I know you was, doing your
I'm be
thing watching
honest.
the Astros. But no, it was an incredible interview. This has been an amazing show. And next week we have another special guest. Looking forward to hearing his story being told. And he is very, very involved with the Cardinals. So stay tuned for the promo. I'm about to get ready to prepare for a trip. I still got to work early, tomorrow. But after that, flight out to Vegas. About to see Ursher on Saturday.
Close?
No. We're
I was gonna be like, man, I need some like shirtless videos or something.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they allow, phones and whatever, so we can take, cool little video. Cause you know how certain concerts, the artists or like comedy show, they may prevent phones or with cameras. So I don't know what the rules are, but of course I'll find out, get as much good content as I can. But I look forward to, my first trip since my injury. So looking forward to it, having a great time with friends and fam. So that's it for the Platform Sports Talk Show. Joe, thanks for your time once again. I'm glad everything worked out where you was able to be on after your Astros did their thing. For everyone else, hope y'all have a wonderful night. Stay tuned for more of the Platform Sports Talk Show. Give us a follow all over social media. And with that being said, we out.